Are you a pilot? Or just the sobbing daughter of one?
Hi friends, I'm doing my best to bring lore back to Apex Legends. So, welcome to part 2 of my video series on the story behind every lore skin in Apex Legends. If you don't know what a lore skin is, these are the skins that have a special lore text next to them when you select them. As this is part 2, if you want to see your favourite legend and you realise they're not in this video, do check out part 1 after you finish watching this. So let's get started with my main, Loba. She's only got one lore skin, and it's called Petty Theft. Loba was the daughter of two prolific grafters. After their deaths left her with nothing, she swore she would rise from the ashes into a life of wealth and privilege, and she would do it with the tools they gave her. Now of course we know this is about how Loba lost her parents when she was a child, no thanks to Revenant. They were world-renowned thieves though, and Loba sought to follow in their footsteps, and she used this to build an illustrious career, making a name for herself as a very famous thief who would be able to get anything you desired, and indeed anything she herself desired. So this lore skin really sets up Loba's backstory and fits in with her personality as being one of the best thieves in the Outlands. Next up, we've got Newcastle. Like Loba, he also only has one lore skin. It's called Heroic Command. Jackson Williams joined the IMC, like everyone in his family, hoping to become a hero his family could be proud of. However, when left with the decision to follow orders or save the people serving under him, he had to re-evaluate what it means to be a hero. Jackson, like Bangalore and much of his family, was in the IMC during the war in the frontier. Of course, we know Bangalore was injured in those wars, and that's when Jackson had to make a decision. He saw all the people around him being hurt, injured and killed, and as it looked like the IMC were fighting a losing battle against a militia, Jackson had to make a tough decision. He disobeyed orders and led the IMC Hestia away from the fight, turning Jackson into a deserter and a fugitive from the IMC in the process. Of course, without this action from Jackson though, we would never have had Newcastle and Bangalore ending up in the Apex games. Let's move on to Octane. Octane's got two lore skins. The first is Heist Fashion. While conventional wisdom suggests all black or camouflage are appropriate for heist attire, Octane recommends only one thing: wingsuits. A very cool outfit for a very cool legend. Of course, this skin is what he wore in his heist with Lifeline to break into Silver Pharmaceuticals. And the lore skin there talks about the wingsuit, and we know that wingsuit of course came in very useful when helping Octane and Lifeline escape some very aggressive security guards. His other lore skin's called Victory Lap. As Octane's feed exploded, literally and figuratively, fame, fortune, and fanaticism screamed for his attention. He couldn't hear it over his favourite sound, his racing heartbeat. Not much to say on this one, apart from what you know about Octane being a jet-setting adrenaline junkie that blew his own legs off trying to set a new record, and that's where this skin comes in. Let's move on to Fuse. He's got one lore skin called Real Steel. When Walter Fitzroy first started fighting in the Bone Cage, he tried a few different personas before landing on essentially himself. There was Waltitude, Mr. Biffo, and a cult favourite, Time Bomb. This skin of course relates to Fuse's background fighting in the bare-knuckle brawling arena on Salvo. For those of you that know the Thunderdome games, this was kind of Salvo's version of that. An underground fighting pit in which Fuse made his name as one of the best fighters on Salvo. Of course, this was before he joined the Apex games and before Mad Maggie blew off his arm. Moving on to Ash, she's got one lore skin. It's called Project 19. Ash would betray her grandma for a payday, but Ash isn't the only mind living inside her memory banks. A reckoning is coming. It's just a matter of time. So of course this skin refers to Ash's split personalities, and the story behind this one is that Ash of course used to be a human who was a scientist and a bit of a mercenary who worked for Dr. Mary Summers. You'll know her as Horizon. Ash, or Dr. Ashley Reed as she was known back then, was a very smart scientist who helped Horizon discover Branthium, and she even took care of Horizon's son Newton. However, one day, during some fateful events which coincided with a few other legends or legends families that you might know of, led to Ash being stabbed through the chest. Ash wouldn't die there though, she was taken in and turned into a simulacrum. And within her simulacrum brain, there are multiple personalities fighting to come to the forefront, one of those being a slightly psychotic murder bot. And sticking with the theme of simulacrums, let's look at Revenant now. He has 2 lore skins. The first of these is Former Glory. Revenant was once a flesh and blood killing machine named Caleb Cross. When the mercenary syndicate wanted someone dead, he was the man to call. This is a reference of course to when Revenant was a mercenary killer. As a human he would take jobs for money and go out killing. Now to be fair, much of his time as a simulacrum was very much the same as him as a human, and this skin kind of ties into that Former Glory of Revenant being a mercenary that wasn't afraid to kill people. Now his second lore skin is actually just his original classic skin. Revenant's original form was designed for one thing: fear. Only the strings of Hammond Industries could keep him in check, until they were cut. This of course is all about Revenant changing forms. We know Revenant Reborn is Revenant's current body. However, before that, he had a slightly different form. And that form would change thanks to Eduardo Silva, who was looking to use Revenant as kind of a puppet in his own master scheme. However, Revenants didn't really like that, and things would go wrong for Eduardo Silva very quickly from that point. Moving on to Jalter, who also has 2 lore skins. The first is Gentle Giant. The Search and Rescue Association of Solace was founded by the Gibraltar family in 2525. Makoa Gibraltar enlisted as a part-time volunteer and continues to prioritise his duties over being a legend on a daily basis. As it sounds, this is essentially Gibraltar's work outfit, which he wears when he's performing his activities to help people of the Outlands with the Search and Rescue Association of Solace, and it ties in nicely not just with Gibraltar himself, but also Gibraltar's wider family. Gibraltar's other lore skin is Millennium Tusk. When Chevrick's benefit dinner was hijacked by wannabe mobsters with Gibraltar in attendance, he stole one of their uniforms and posed as part of the group to save the day, like Gibraltars do. So this is actually a tie-in with the fun comic story when Gibraltar attended a party on Samathi with a number of other legends including Lifeline. So this benefit dinner was hijacked by mobsters, and somehow Gibraltar was able to come to the rescue, capturing the mobsters and saving the people. Moving on to our last couple of legends with lore skins, we've got Mirage, who has Angel City Hustler. Elliot worried his first hollow devices he built with his mother, Evelyn, would need more pizzazzling. Evelyn reassured her son that he didn't need pizzazzle to look heroic. So this one ties in with Mirage's very close relationship with his mother and the fact that they worked together to actually build Mirage's hollow devices. Now let's move on to the last legend with a lore skin, and that is Caustic. He's got 2. The first one of these is Blackheart. Alexander Knox denies involvement in an infamous prison break on Gaia, asserting that the culprit was merely a lookalike. However, the individual who corroborated his account can no longer be located. So this one ties in with a little bit of Caustic's backstory and some of the slightly dubious activities he was involved in, one of those being a prison break in which he wore this outfit. The second lore skin for Caustic is Necrosis. Caustic, sensing his death was imminent, at one point sought to become a simulacrum. His project proposal was rejected after the results of his psychology exam proved troubling. So the lore behind this one's an interesting one. If you didn't know, Caustic has cancer and he's kind of dying, but that's where this fun skin ties in. One way a human can survive, maybe not quite in their body, but at least their mind, is as a simulacrum. You heard me talk about Caleb Cross, and he would then become a simulacrum in the form of Revenant. And Ash, as you heard earlier, is also another example of that. She was Dr. Ashley Reed as a human, but when she was stabbed and faced dying, she became the simulacrum known as Ash. And Caustic kind of had this same idea. He was thinking, maybe he could become a simulacrum like them. Of course though, we know Caustic is slightly psychotic and he definitely loves experimenting on people, and he doesn't really care how much pain he causes people, apart from the odd few that he actually cares about, like his mother and maybe Watson as well. So this lore skin ties into that moment in Caustic's life. And there you have it. That is all the lore skins currently in Apex Legends. You will notice when you watch part 1 and part 2 of this video series that not every legend has a lore skin, while some of them have more than one. And in fairness, it kinda feels like they haven't released a lore skin in a long time. So maybe that will change in the near future. For now though, I hope you enjoyed delving back into a little bit of Apex Legends lore. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you later.